Tired of relying on chemical fertilizers for your garden? What if I told you that beneath your feet lies an invisible army of microscopic workers, tirelessly transforming your soil into a nutrient-rich powerhouse? These tiny organisms hold the secret to unlocking natural power in the soil that can transform your harvests from meager to, just magnificent. Welcome to the fascinating world of soil microorganisms, where nature's own fertilizer factory operates 24/7, creating conditions for the most abundant harvests you've ever imagined. In every teaspoon of healthy garden soil, there are more microorganisms than there are people on Earth. These microscopic marvels include bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and countless other organisms that form the foundation of all terrestrial life. Think of them as the ultimate recycling crew, working tirelessly to break down organic matter and transform it into the building blocks your plants crave. The diversity of this underground ecosystem is honestly just staggering. Each microorganism has evolved to perform specific tasks, much like workers in a well-orchestrated factory. Some specialize in decomposing fallen leaves and plant debris, while others focus on breaking down proteins or converting complex carbohydrates into simpler compounds. Fungi extend their thread-like networks through the soil, creating highways for nutrient transport, while bacteria cluster around plant roots, forming partnerships that benefit both organism and plant. What makes this microbial community truly remarkable is its interconnectedness. These organisms don't work in isolation, they form complex relationships with each other and with your plants. When one group of microorganisms breaks down organic matter, they release nutrients that feed other microorganisms, creating a cascading effect that enriches the entire soil ecosystem. This natural collaboration is what transforms ordinary dirt into living, breathing soil that can support abundant plant growth. The magic happens when microorganisms act as nature's own nutrient delivery system. Imagine your soil as a vast storage warehouse filled with locked treasure chests of nutrients. Without the right keys, plants can't access these riches, no matter how much organic matter you add to your garden. Microorganisms serve as those essential keys, unlocking nutrients and presenting them to your plants in forms they can readily absorb. When you add compost fallen leaves or any organic matter to your soil, you're essentially feeding this microbial workforce. As they consume and digest organic materials, they release nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and dozens of other essential nutrients in forms that plant roots can immediately uptake. This process, called mineralization, is far more efficient and sustainable than synthetic fertilizers because it provides a steady, controlled release of nutrients over time. The relationship between microorganisms and nutrient cycling goes beyond simple decomposition. Some bacteria have the remarkable ability to capture nitrogen directly from the air and convert it into ammonia, a form that plants can use. These nitrogen-fixing bacteria often form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, creating specialized nodules where this conversion takes place. Meanwhile, mycorrhizal fungi extend their networks far beyond the reach of plant roots, accessing phosphorus and other nutrients from distant soil areas and trading them with plants in exchange for sugars and carbohydrates. One of the most impressive capabilities of beneficial microorganisms is, honestly, their ability to protect your plants from diseases and pests. In a healthy soil ecosystem, beneficial microbes vastly outnumber harmful pathogens, creating a natural defense system that pharmaceutical companies can only dream of replicating. Mycorrhizal fungi, perhaps the most celebrated of beneficial microorganisms, form these intimate partnerships with plant roots. These fungi don't just help with nutrient uptake, they also create a protective barrier around root systems, physically blocking harmful pathogens from accessing plant tissues. Additionally, many beneficial bacteria produce natural antibiotics and antifungal compounds that actively suppress disease-causing organisms. The concept of competitive exclusion plays a crucial role in this natural disease control. When beneficial microorganisms are abundant and thriving, they occupy all the available ecological niches, leaving no room for harmful pathogens to establish themselves. It's kind of like having a garden party where all the seats are taken by your friends, leaving no room for uninvited troublemakers. Rhizosphere bacteria, which live in the immediate vicinity of plant roots, are particularly effective at disease suppression. These microorganisms not only compete with pathogens for nutrients and space, but also trigger the plant's own immune responses, helping plants develop stronger resistance to diseases. This phenomenon, known as induced systemic resistance, is like training your plant's immune system to recognize and fight off potential threats. Now that you understand the incredible potential of soil microorganisms, let's explore how to cultivate and maintain a thriving microbial community in your garden. The key to success lies in creating conditions that support these beneficial organisms while avoiding practices that might harm them. Composting is perhaps the most powerful tool in your microbial arsenal. When you create compost, you're essentially farming microorganisms, providing them with the perfect environment to multiply and thrive. A well-managed compost pile becomes a microbial metropolis, teeming with billions of beneficial organisms that will transform your soil when applied. The beauty of compost lies not just in its nutrient content, but in its microbial diversity, introducing countless species of beneficial organisms to your garden soil. Mulching serves as both protection and food for your soil microorganisms. When you spread organic mulch around your plants, you're basically creating a buffet for soil life while protecting them from temperature extremes and moisture loss. As the mulch gradually decomposes, it feeds the microbial community and adds organic matter to the soil. This continuous feeding creates a positive feedback loop where healthy microorganisms produce more nutrients, which support stronger plants, which in turn contribute more organic matter to the soil. Cover cropping represents another sophisticated strategy for nurturing soil microorganisms. When you plant cover crops during off-seasons, you're providing continuous food sources for soil microbes through root exudates and eventually decomposition. Many cover crops also support nitrogen-fixing bacteria, naturally enriching your soil with this essential nutrient. The root systems of cover crops create channels in the soil that improve aeration and water infiltration, creating better conditions for microbial activity. The transformation that occurs when you embrace microbial-friendly gardening practices is nothing short of remarkable. Gardens that prioritize soil microbiology often experience dramatic improvements in plant health, productivity, and resilience. Plants grown in biologically active soils tend to be more resistant to stress, produce higher yields, and often exhibit superior flavor and nutritional content. So one of the most important principles to remember is that microorganisms are living creatures with their own specific needs. They need food, which comes in the form of organic matter, along with adequate moisture, proper aeration, and, protection from extreme conditions. Chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and fungicides can really disrupt or even destroy these delicate microbial communities. That's actually why organic gardening practices are so effective at maintaining soil health. The patience required to build a thriving microbial ecosystem is rewarded with increasingly productive and self-sustaining gardens. As your soil biology develops, you'll find yourself relying less on external inputs and more on the natural processes that microorganisms facilitate. Your plants will develop stronger root systems, better nutrient uptake, and improved disease resistance, creating a virtuous cycle of increasing garden health and productivity. Consider keeping a garden journal to track the changes you observe as you implement microbial-friendly practices. Note improvements in plant vigor, changes in soil structure, and reductions in pest and disease problems. Many gardeners report that their soil becomes easier to work with, developing a rich, crumbly texture that both plants and gardeners appreciate. The journey toward harnessing the power of microorganisms in your garden is both educational and rewarding. As you learn to work with these invisible allies, you'll discover that the most powerful fertilizer factory was always right there in your soil, just waiting to be activated. By nurturing these microscopic partners, you're not just growing plants, you're cultivating a living ecosystem that will provide abundant harvests for years to come. Ready to unlock the hidden potential in your soil? Start implementing these microbial-friendly practices today, and honestly just prepare to be amazed by the transformation in your garden's productivity and health. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more cutting-edge gardening insights, and share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to discover the incredible power of microorganisms.